Okay, on to the good stuff now. Let's go to our next card. And here's a couple stamp sets that I used for this one. I used this little piggy. I love this one, and it's still in the annual catalog, meaning it's current. That is so amazing. And then I did a couple alternative sayings. Right here it says, "You got a friend in me," which reminds me of Toy Story. My son's obsessed. But I decided to do "It's your birthday and thanks big time," because these are things I use a lot. And also congratulations. So I want to tell you where I came up with some of these. The congratulations came from this Magnolia Blooms stamp set. This is such a deal. And it coincides with the Magnolia stamp set that's in the annual catalog. But you're kind of like, well, where do I find this? Well, you can find this in this really cool beginner pamphlet, and you do not have to be a beginner to have it. And I've got a ton on hand, so if you're interested, let me know and I'll shoot one over to you. But this is the page I wanted to show you. It shows you a couple things that you can do. It tells you everything on this page you can order here, and to do everything that you need to, like if you wanted to order all the stuff on here, you would just do this one item number and pay that much, and you can make all these things on here. If you just want the stamp set, which is what I did, it's only $14, and then you go ahead and order it from here. You also can see these things online at stampinup.com, and there will be a link below that it's my shop 24/7 link, and you can go shop online with me. And if you make an order, I definitely will send you a gift, and I will say thank you for being my customer. I'm here to help, and I want to help you. And it doesn't matter to me what kind of a crafter you want to be, okay? Alrighty, so one thing I want to point out that I love is it has a congratulations and a happy birthday, and the other Magnolia stamp set in the main catalog does not. So I love this stamp set. And then I got the thanks big time and it's your birthday from this Will Walrus Be Friends. I love this cute little guy. I cannot wait to watercolor with him and color with my blends. But see those two sayings right there at the top? That's where I got that one. So will Walrus be friends? I just love it. Alrighty, we have a couple avid things to do for this stamp set, and I'm stoked to show it to you. If you guys have ever used the paste, this is awesome. They also have like a glitter paste, which is funny because my team's name is the Glitter Gang. We call ourselves the Glitter Gals. But yeah, you want to get this really cool paste, embossing paste. And if you are at all like a cake decorator, you're gonna love this. Do I have any cake decorators out here? If you're a cake decorator, shout out that you love to decorate cakes. Also, I think you're gonna love this. Okay, so a couple things we're gonna do. I've got all my supplies here pre-cut, and I will let you know the sizes. I'm gonna take my little pinky one and decide where I wanna put it. And I kind of went like this with mine at like an angle because I liked catching these two clouds, but not the top of those. And then I'm just gonna use any one of these washi tapes is just fine. And that means that your mask is not gonna move. So if you're curious about these masks, I love them. They come in a set of 4. One of those masks are these clouds. And I'm gonna tell you a couple tips and tricks, Tricia's tips and tricks, or Tricia hacks, to let you know how to make a better project that even I made. And hopefully you don't make the same mistakes I made, but just to let you know, making mistakes is okay. That's how you learn. And in fact, some of my favorite cards are from my mistakes. Okay, couple things. When I open this up, sometimes it's like dry. And I'm like, oh, holy crap, I can't use it. Or I need to buy a new one. Well, they're expensive. So what I would suggest is opening it up, putting a very small amount of water in it, closing it and letting it just kind of soak in, and then mixing it up with one of your knives. This is one of my knives I use for painting because yes, I have a painting background. I love to paint. And these are from Stampin' Up. It comes with one other, and I think they're in the current catalog. All right, so then you just mix it up after it's been sitting, And I did this, and in fact, it made it like a lot better because one of my Tricia's hacks is to make sure that you have a really smooth paste. Another Tricia hack is to act quickly. So see how I kind of just, it seriously is like icing. Does it remind you guys of icing? Oh, my son would love this. He's like begging me to constantly do some cakes, and it's funny because we don't even eat that stuff very much. It kind of hurts my tummy, but I love to bake. So anyone else love to use icing? Okay, another really quick tip or trick is just kind of dab on and then smooth over a lot of these areas. No, we're not going for perfection here, guys. And see, it does move a little bit on me. But see how I'm just kind of covering all my clouds, and then I will smooth them all over. Another little cool trick is if you used a little too much in other areas, you can pick it up just by smoothing over and getting extra. So then you're not going to waste your precious paste as much. And I'm all about it, saving as much as I can, especially my time, doing the least amount of work possible. And so some of these, it's kind of like tying a bow, where when you tie it, it's not perfect the first time. You kind of have to play with it. And I would say it's the same as that. So see how some of these aren't exactly smooth, but I'm kind of just like going back over them. And I think that's the best tip, is just to like smooth them over until they're about the thickness that you want them to be. And another tip and trick or Tricia hack is that you do not need to waste your time doing, let's say, this cloud, because it's going to be covered by your little pigs and the heart. So why do extra work when you don't have to? Just like icing, just kind of put it back into the container. I'd say save as much as you can, because it feels like you need a lot of it in certain projects. Also, have a wipe nearby so you can clean off your space or your hands quickly. Another trick or tip is like, it's hard to get clean, but someone suggested cleaning it with soap and water like right away. This was kind of one reason I avoided doing the paste, is because I was always like, it's just so messy. I mean, look at this. I'm going to kind of smooth off my edges. I'm sure you can use your tool to do this. And then you set this aside to dry. You're wondering probably how long it takes to dry. Well, about 20-30 minutes ago, I did these and set them out, and they are all dry now. Okay? So, and I would make sure that you have an extra piece of paper like I did underneath you, because you're going to make a mess. And then clean it off right away. You do not want to make more work for yourself than's necessary. And then soap and water, you guys. Soap and water these suckers so that they are clean. And you don't have to be scared to do this because you think it takes too much work. Go ahead and give it a try. You're going to love it. Okay, you're not going to get that mask like squeaky clean, but that's okay because it doesn't need to be perfect, does it? It's going to leave a little bit of a mark, but all you need it for is crafts. So your craft supplies sometimes might get ruined, and that's okay. Alrighty, now that we've done that part, let's go to, the funnest part, oh my goodness, is, I'm going to bring my stuff over, and I no longer need these things. Okay, now we're going to bring out the Stamparatus. Time for the Stamparatus. And, yeah, you can still see that. That is awesome. Okay, Stamparatus, and I'm just making sure it's all in view. It is wonderful. It's amazing. And then the thing that we need is a heart, this little cutout template that I already made, and your StazOn ink. Okay, why are we using StazOn for this? Well, it's permanent, and we're going to do some watercoloring. So you do not want your like water-based ink, like a Memento ink, to run. So that's why we use this permanent ink, and I love this stuff. It smells kind of like candy to me. I don't know if it does to you, but it smells like candy to me. I know, I love it. Okay, so here's that beautiful card that we're going to work on, and we're going to stamp him looking at each other, because the pig originally just stamps in one direction, you guys. You can't get it to look at each other unless you do this cool technique. Okay, like I said, I just made a template out of thick white cardstock, and then I cut my cute little heart out with the same shimmery white cardstock because once again, it's meant for watercoloring. So make sure you use that one. Okay, so this is just how I put my dies. This was called Sweet and Sassy, and there's 15 of them. And I used the largest one here, that one. And I used the next largest one down here. Okay, but you're wondering, oh crap, those aren't current. You're right, these are retired. So if you're looking for a heart that is current, I would use either one of these, and this one kind of leaves like a little mark. So your best bet is to go with these two shaped, and maybe use a smaller stamp than the piggies. A couple other things that you use for this project is some vellum, and you cut this out with your Big Shot. So I already have my little heart out of vellum cut out and ready to go. But right now we're going to do the little piggies. You're probably not going to get it perfect the first time. Even though I'm experienced and I feel like these things are comfortable and easy for me, I did not have the best experience. See, I first had the piggy going overlapping its nose. So the placement of your piggy is so essential. And that's where the Stamparatus comes in, because it helps you align and know where it's going to be at. You just might have to pick him up and move him. If you do, I would suggest doing a practice run on a regular piece of white paper. That's my best suggestion. And so how I got this template is I ran it through my Big Shot, and then I just cut a couple of these. So here's my best one, and we're going to use this to watercolor. Here's my second best one, and there's just enough space in between them, and they're perfectly parallel. And if I wanted this side to be darker, I could totally use a Sharpie and like outline him and make him darker, but I don't even think I need to. And then here's my mess up one, and what I might just do with this mess up one is I might just do a little bit of like white gel pen and still use it, because why not? So I'm gonna improvise and still use it. Okay, so you're gonna need your silicone mat, one of your magnets, your little template, and make sure your template has some room on the side so you're not right up against your corner. Just because it hinges right here and you want your stamp out a little for it to have a better stamp. Do you guys love my nails? I just got them done and my friend started doing them. I love to put my stamp set underneath so that it just helps me have a better image. Like I said earlier, make sure you have a refill, a StazOn refill. So I just re-inked it beforehand, and I'm gonna go ahead and ink this guy up. The reason you want it like so extra juicy is because you're doing this technique. So see how my silicone mat is underneath? And then I'm gonna go ahead and push him down and see how I am doing fairly good pressure right where he's at so that I know he's gonna stamp well. And in fact, I found the best result is inking him up again and pushing down so that you have a double layer, and that's how he turned out the best. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and put this down right in that template there, okay? One thing you can do if you really want is you can take a bone folder, and as long as you're careful, push that down. And what that's going to do is help the ink underneath transfer to your paper. And then go ahead and ink him up again, just because you could use either side of your heart and you don't know which one's going to look the best. So you do that, and then you have a piggy on this side of your paper. Are you ready for the magic? And then you have it on the back side. You can use either side. Oh, that looks better. Their noses aren't as close. So another thing, another Tricia hack is, let's say you can tell their noses are gonna touch. Well, you can move this over to the left or right to make sure you get the right alignment. That's just a little trick for you. And boom, you've got a clean stamp set. So let's use my favorite one because the ink is all dry, and we're gonna go ahead and watercolor now. And I will probably speed up the video at one point and put some music to it. Okay, these are the colors that I used, and I'm just gonna put them up for you so you'll see what they are, and do the palm to palm Tricia hack so that you can get some on your lid. And we're gonna use probably the most majority is gonna be the pink. Alrighty, here we go. So I'm using the finer tip, and this one's a new one, hasn't been used, and just let a little bit of water out on, there we go. Now that I know that there's water in my tip and I can kind of move it and mix it, and let's take our sample and put it right here. Now this is the funnest part. So where I want it the darkest is where I'm going first. Oh, I love watercoloring. And then I'm going back over where I want darker, and I'm just like darkening him up where I want him darker. I don't know, do you guys feel like you heal from crafting? Because I know I do. I talk about that a lot, but I really is one of the reasons I love stamping. I love stamping because of the friends it brings into my life. And I love being challenged and growing. That's why I do these kind of tutorials where I teach you guys the cool things that I challenge myself to learn. And then I get to go to some fun events, and hopefully one day I'll earn a trip and get to travel. Okay, if you think it's too dark, this is really cool with watercoloring. You can kind of take some of it off where you think it maybe is too dark, and then maybe come back and smooth it out. See? Watercoloring is, in fact, about layering. And sometimes I get the best looks when I'm just coming back to layer. Okay, to do the background, we want it so super light, so I tend to do more water than I do of anything else. And one other thing to watercoloring, you guys, if I just did this little pig, I would not want to watercolor in that area right after I just worked on him. If he's wet, it will seep. And in fact, some of the pig seeped out a little bit, and that happens. So don't work right where you just put on a wet layer. Hey, thank you so much for coming. We're done. I'm not going to show you the rest of putting that card together because it's pretty easy. The only thing that you want to keep in mind is when you have this really cool thread that you put one of these glue dots on, a couple of them down underneath, so you'll put them on here, and then you just kind of wrap it really cool onto those glue dots. and go ahead and layer with some dimensionals. Thank you so much for coming today. I hope that this video was fun for you, as it was fun for me. And a couple of the other cards that I did not show you, but I did want to just show again, are these cute little doggies, and they're looking at each other, and I watercolored them. And then this is a really fun one. Elizabeth Price did this card at one of the on stages that I went to. And this is like called Kissing, where you stamp onto another stamp. And so I'll have to maybe do another video with this one because it's not quite the same. But thank you for learning how to use your Stamparatus, how to use your silicone mat, and especially in this video, how to do some watercoloring. I hope you come back for my future classes. If you like what you saw today, go ahead and subscribe down below. Look at my flashy nails. And you can hit the bell if you want to be notified of when my next video comes out. And just keep liking away, and I'm here to help if you need me. You can visit me at cmcstamps.com. Thanks so much for coming, you guys. Thank you. Here's a virtual hug for you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at the next one. Bye.